Walz wants to tax Minnesota's highest earners and companies to pay for spending increases. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amy Hockert.
And I'm Randy Meyer. But that plan is not going over well with some Republicans. Political reporter Theo Keith is live at the Capitol tonight. Theo, who faces the governor's tax hike and what is that money intended for?
Well, the governor is proposing to raise taxes on any household that makes $1 million a year, and he would redirect that money to schools and to lower income people, many of whom have been hit by the pandemic.
If your family is making less than $20,000 per week, this isn't going to hit you.
That's how Governor Tim Walz is framing his income tax hike. Any household making above $1 million would pay more. So would people who make a lot of money from stock market gains. Large companies would see a tax hike. And Walz is also proposing a tax increase on cigarettes and vaping. It would pay for $1.3 billion in new spending, including more funding for schools and expanded summer offerings to make up for school closures during the pandemic. Help for businesses damaged by last summer's riots after George Floyd's death, a one-time payment to Minnesota's lowest income families, and a tax cut for 1 million low to middle earners. This is how Republicans opened their news conference a short time later.
Thank God that Republicans have the majority in the Senate.
Republicans say Walz is spending too much, and they scoff at the tax cut, which they say amounts to $3 a month on average across the 1 million people it would benefit.
That's a talking point. That's not a tax cut. I don't think you can get a cup of coffee at Caribou Coffee for $3.
The budget showdown will play out over the next 4 months and maybe beyond. The divided legislature has to pass a budget by the end of June or government shuts down. Both sides say they can get a deal. The governor summed up where they stand like this.
I could have written the press releases that my Republican friends were going to put out. This is kind of just the thing that we go through.
State officials say the way out of the pandemic is with vaccines, but there is a lot of uncertainty around the timeline. Last week, I reported that the state's sign-up system for seniors opened and was quickly overwhelmed, so state officials and health officials made some changes this week.